How's it going?
Hello. How are you, John?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Just fine, thanks.
Excellent.
Whew. All right, let's go ahead and call this meeting of the Missoula City Board of Adjustments to order. Want to read a quick script, and this is about how to use the webinar as an attendee. So thanks for joining us. When I call for public comment, please use the raise or lower your hand feature to let me know that you wish to be recognized. Our host will allow you to talk, and you'll need to unmute your mic. If you joined us by phone today, you can raise and lower your hand by pressing *9 and mute and unmute using *6. If you're participating by phone, I'll call on you by reading the last 4 digits of your phone number. If you're participating by computer, I'll call the name that was listed when you entered the webinar. All right, can we get a roll call, please?
Sandy Mitchell,
Present.
Patrick Brightcom,
I'm here.
Lance Hoffman,
Here.
Lance Coach. Lance Coach is absent. John Newman,
Here.
James Sage is absent. Caitlin Hepburn is absent. Don Briggs. Don Briggs is absent. Joseph Zukanik is absent. And we have a quorum.
Don Briggs is in as an attendee. Can we bump him over to the panelist side?
Sure. I made you, Hans, and John as a co-host.
I see.
Has
I can
anyone
promote him
else
to
need to
panelist.
be promoted?
Okay, I
panelist?
saw that. Don Briggs is now over on the panelist side. So you can count him as present. Correct, Don? Are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you for raising your hand. That was a clever solution. I saw that pop up. All right, do we have a quorum?
Yes.
Great. So next item is to approve the minutes from December 2nd. Those were included in our packet. I've at least read the minutes. Is anybody willing to motion that we approve?
I'll move for approval of the December 2nd meeting minutes.
Can we get a second?
I will second.
I think in these Zoom meetings, it's easier to ask for nays than it is for ayes, since we'll all talk at the same time. So if anybody does not want to approve from those present, please speak up. All right, hearing none, minutes are approved. Next item is public comment, and this is for non-agenda items. We'll be getting to the public hearing for the Missoula County Elections Office and the Missoula County Emergency Operations Center in a little bit. But if there's any public comment on non-agenda items, now is the time to voice it. Seeing none, we'll move on to staff announcements. Are there any staff announcements?
No staff announcements.
Thank you. All right, that'll bring us to the public hearing, and this is regarding the public forum for Missoula County regarding the modification and expansion of an off-street parking area surrounding 2 existing buildings that house the Missoula County Elections Office and Missoula County Emergency Operations Center on the parcel located, well, it cuts off there, but I think we all know where that is, and it'll come up again during the presentation. Is there a staff presentation on this subject?
Yes. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Great. Well, good evening. My name is Emily Gluckin. I am an associate planner in the Development Services Division of Community Planning, Development, and Innovation. Tonight, I will be presenting a request for a public forum from Missoula County for exemptions to several regulations of the Design Excellence Overlay for the property located at 140 North Russell Street. The subject property is located at the southeast corner of Russell and Wyoming Street, and it's located in the Riverfront neighborhood and City Council Ward 3, just south of the river. The property is zoned C2-4 and is also within the Southside Riverfront Neighborhood Character Overlay, as well as the Design Excellence Corridor Typology 1 overlay. And on top of that, it is designated as a Design Excellence node. Some of the surrounding zoning in the area, there's B2-2, which is a business district to the east. And it's just bordered to the south by an OP3 district, which is open space, and that's where the trail is located. A little bit about the Design Excellence Overlay. It prescribes a layer of design-related standards to the site on top of the base zoning district. It's all within Title 20, but it's an overlay district. And these are the set of standards that I will be discussing this evening. The property currently contains 2 existing buildings. One is an existing office building that is currently used as the Missoula County Elections Office. And the other one is a converted warehouse building that's used for larger election events and also houses the Missoula County Emergency Operations Center. An existing parking lot with an exit-only driveway exists at the northwestern corner of the site. You can kind of see that on the aerial view there. Otherwise, much of the site currently exists as a vacant gravel surface, and some of it may currently be under construction for a previously approved sign, and I'll touch on that in a few slides. The subject property is surrounded by a mix of commercial uses, including a plant and landscaping retail location to the north. That's where Pink Grizzly is. The Western Montana Health Center is to the east, and Home Resource is to the west, which is a building and construction material retail location. And as I mentioned before, the Milwaukee Trail is to the south, and a connection to the trail also borders the site directly to the east. So I want to take a moment to talk about why this is a public forum. Per Montana state law, public agencies, such as Missoula County, are allowed to propose land uses on publicly owned lands that are contrary to local zoning regulations. When a public agency requests to do so, a public hearing is required, and that's what the public forum is, to provide an opportunity for public comment on the proposal. The Board of Adjustment may not approve or deny the request, and staff does not make a formal recommendation. To provide some history on this project, a previous project design was approved through a design excellence review, as well as a subsequent building permit in the summer of 2020. for the adaptive modification of the existing warehouse building. That's what you see on the left of the screen. And the addition of surface parking and landscaping to the site. Since that approval, the applicant has since proposed changes to this previously approved plan that requires a new review of these proposed changes. And instead of going through a second design excellence review process, the applicant has requested a public forum for this new design to be considered. The proposed redesign includes the expansion of the surface parking on the site to include a total of 102 spaces, which exceeds the minimum parking required by zoning code. And you might notice the existing parking lot at the corner of Russell and Wyoming, in that northwestern corner, will be modified to remove the one-way driveway and now includes a landscape area between the parking lot and the sidewalk. The site will be accessed from Wyoming Street, east of the office building, and from Russell Street. So the first requirement that the applicant is requesting an exemption from is the build to width requirement of the design excellence overlay. Generally in the corridor typology 1 district, at least 75% of a building must be located within the required build to zone on the primary street and 55% of the building on the secondary street. And in this case, in corridor type 1, the build to zone is between 5 feet and 10 feet of the street property line. There's a stipulation in design excellence that when an initial development plan does not meet this build to width requirement, for example, in the case of existing buildings that are outside of that build to zone, a 60-foot deep reserve area must be designated along the entirety of both property frontages to allow for a project to comply in the future, in a future phase. And in these reserve areas, parking, water quality facilities, things like detention and retention water facilities, and utilities are not allowed. And on this proposal, the county is not providing reserve areas along Wyoming and Russell Street, and parking is located within that 60-foot area of the street frontage. The second request is pertaining to the interior parking lot landscaping requirements of design excellence. Design excellence standards are triggered when there are 3 parallel drive aisles in a parking lot, and require 9-foot landscape areas between rows of parking. And these are shown in the orange boxes on the screen. And those landscape areas are not provided as part of this proposal. The final request is for an exemption to the design excellence perimeter parking lot screening requirements. Screening is required when a parking area is within 60 feet of a property line and must be provided in the form of a consistent landscape hedge, wall, grade change, or a berm that provides continuous screening around a parking lot. In this case, this is not provided in full along the parking areas facing Russell and Wyoming Street, though it is provided in some locations, and it's not a consistent screen. Requests for comment were sent to city agencies and adjacent property owners within 150 feet of the subject property. The Mobility and Infrastructure Planning Division of Public Works, which is formerly the Transportation Division of Development Services, provided comments in support of closing the access on Wyoming Street. They recommended a right-in and right-out access on the Russell Street driveway, and also recommended that landscaping surrounding that Russell Street access should be reviewed for appropriate visibility. And they also advised that the provided bicycle parking for the site must comply with the requirements of Title 20. 2 written public comments were received for this request. The first was in support of allowing these exemptions, stating that landscaping and parking requirements can prevent projects from being financially feasible. And the second one was a comment in opposition to the proposed amount of parking and asphalt, stating that it is damaging to both the aquifer and the community. To conclude, there is no staff recommended motions, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. Are there any comments from the panelists? Or questions?
And I believe the applicants are in their participants right now, and it looks like one of them raised his hand, so
I see.
it might need to be elevated.
Yeah. All right, Casey, you've been recognized.
Hi, Hans. Thank you. So yeah, I'm Casey Gannon, strategic initiatives manager for Missoula County and the project manager for this elections building. So first, just want to say thanks for getting us on your agenda today, and here for any questions you may have. Just a little explanation in terms of the change from the design excellence site plan that was approved to our new plan. We worked with Emily a lot initially to meet the design excellence the best we could initially. But then looking back, and especially after election, realized we needed significantly more parking and to make elections run smoothly, especially with ballot drop-offs and the number of people we had coming to that site. So that kind of sparked the change of plans. And just within the current site, we had to make some sacrifices within the design excellence, and that's why we've kind of gone this route. But hopefully we can continue the work with Emily and improve it as much as we can. But in terms of moving our project forward, that's why we're kind of going on a board of adjustments at this point to keep that project going. So, but yeah, here if you guys have any questions. So thank you for your time.
All right, thank you, Casey. I do have one public comment. This is from Bob Giordano. He is director of the Missoula Institute for Sustainable Transportation. He was unable to make it, but he knows me personally, so he asked me to read this into the minutes. Bob Giordano states, in regards to the election center, for community health, please utilize excellent bike parking and public green space. Also make as little car parking as possible. I see that Casey has asked to speak again.
Sorry, I still had my hand up, but in regards to that comment, I will make a statement. We will, strive to improve that bike parking as something that was noted. We work with Missoula in Motion and help fund that program. So, we have a partnership with them. And so they might not be in the plans now, but that will be part of the overall plan of that site. So thank you.
That's great, especially with Milwaukee Trail going right past the front of it.
Yeah, that was part of the selection of that site, was to have that access for bikers. So.
Great. Is there any other public comment? All right, hearing none and seeing none, we'll move on. Is there any other business? Any other business be brought before the board? I seem to have lost my video. Am I still on? Can somebody please respond?
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
I hear you.
All right, well, I've lost video, so I'm just gonna have to fly blind for the rest of this. If there's no other business, Then I think we can adjourn. That will adjourn this meeting of the Missoula City Board of Adjustments. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
you too.